The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with nervous energy as representatives from 47 different species gathered for the emergency session. Ambassador Zekathara of the Velthari adjusts her crystalline breathing apparatus, her 6 eyes scanning the worried faces around the circular chamber. Something had shaken the galaxy's most powerful civilizations to their core. "Order! Order!" High Chancellor Mordun's voice boomed through the translation matrix, his massive Croylian frame casting shadows across the polished metal floor. His 4 arms gestured for silence as the various chittering, clicking, and humming voices gradually died down. "We are here to address the situation regarding the newest species to achieve interstellar travel." A collective shudder ran through the assembled delegates, the humans. Everyone had heard the reports, but few believed them until the video evidence began circulating through diplomatic channels. "Perhaps we should review the facts," suggested Ambassador Ilix, her serpentine Naga form coiled elegantly around her hovering platform. "The humans made first contact with our Outer Rim patrol ships 6 months ago. Standard protocol was followed. They were invited to observe our civilization, learn our customs, understand their place in the galactic hierarchy." "And that's when everything went wrong," muttered Captain Vorthak under his breath, his scarred Bruthan hide still bearing marks from his encounter with human vessels. High Chancellor Mordun activated the central holographic display. Images flickered to life showing a blue-green world orbiting a yellow star. Earth, Class M planet, nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere, standard gravity. Nothing unusual about the planetary conditions. The inhabitants appeared to be typical carbon-based bipeds, smaller than most species, lacking natural armor or obvious weapons. Initial assessments classified them as a Tier 7 civilization. "Tier 7, scoffed Ambassador Grixtal, his insectoid mandibles clicking in what passed for laughter among his kind. "We've uplifted species more dangerous than that for manual labor." "That was our mistake," Mordun continued grimly. "We underestimated them completely. The first diplomatic exchange seemed promising. They were curious, eager to learn about galactic civilization. We offered them the standard cultural exchange package." The hologram shifted to show footage from the diplomatic vessel Harmony's Pride. Human delegates walked through corridors designed to impress lesser species, their dark eyes taking in everything with an unsettling intensity. They asked questions about everything: technology, culture, biology, even mundane details about daily life. They were particularly interested in our food sources, Ambassador Zekathara noted, her voice carrying an undertone of unease. "At the time, we thought it was simple curiosity about alien biology." "Show them the cafeteria footage," requested Ambassador Ilix. The hologram changed to display the ship's dining facility. Various species sat at tables designed for their specific physiologies, consuming their traditional foods. The humans watched everything with fascination, asking detailed questions about nutrition, preparation methods, and dietary restrictions. "This is where we first noticed something unusual," Mordun explained. "When we explained that many species in the galaxy were herbivorous or consumed only processed nutrients, the humans seemed disappointed. The footage showed the human delegation exchanging glances when informed that the fierce-looking Vorthak were actually peaceful grazers who lived on a diet of cultivated algae and synthetic proteins. The humans' expressions grew more puzzled as they learned that the mighty Croylians, despite their size and impressive appearance, sustained themselves entirely on filtered atmospheric minerals. "They kept asking about predators," Ambassador Grixtal added, his compound eyes reflecting the hologram's light. "What species hunted? What species were dangerous? What species were at the top of their respective food chains?" "We thought they were concerned about safety," Zekathara said quietly. "We assured them that most apex species had evolved beyond such primitive behaviors. We told them about the Great Peace, how advanced civilizations had moved beyond the barbarism of hunting and consuming other life forms. The hologram shifted again, showing the humans' reaction to this information. Their faces showed something the aliens had trouble interpreting at the time, something between confusion and disappointment. Then came the cultural exchange dinner, Mordoon continued, his voice growing heavier. We prepared our finest synthetic delicacies, our most prized mineral extracts, our celebrated atmospheric filters. We wanted to show them the pinnacle of civilized dining. The next footage showed an elaborate dining hall filled with representatives from dozens of species. Tables groaned under the weight of carefully prepared synthetic foods, each dish a masterpiece of molecular gastronomy designed to provide perfect nutrition while appealing to advanced aesthetic sensibilities. The humans entered the hall and stopped. They looked around at the colorful array of artificial foods, the elegant presentation, the proud faces of their hosts. Then one of them, a woman with short brown hair identified as Dr. Sarah Chen, asked a question that would echo through galactic history. This is all very impressive, but where's the meat? The silence that followed was profound. Every translator in the room rechecked their systems, certain there had been an error. The concept was so foreign that many species' languages didn't even have a proper word for it. Meat? High Chancellor Mordoon had asked, his massive frame leaning forward in confusion. You know, Dr. Chen had continued casually, animal protein, the muscle tissue of other creatures, preferably from something that was at the top of its food chain. Don't you have any apex predators here? Something dangerous and aggressive that we could... She made a gesture across her throat with her finger. The footage showed the exact moment when the galactic representatives understood what she was suggesting. Several delegates required immediate medical attention as their various biological systems went into shock. They wanted to consume the flesh of dangerous creatures, Ambassador Illich said, her serpentine form shuddering visibly. Not just any creatures, but specifically the most dangerous ones, the ones that other species fear. The ones that hunt other life forms, added Grixtail, his mandibles clicking nervously. We tried to explain that such behavior was considered barbaric, Mordoon continued. We told them that advanced species had evolved beyond such primitive needs. We assured them that our synthetic alternatives were nutritionally superior and ethically sound. The hologram showed the humans polite nods and understanding smiles. They seemed to accept the explanation graciously, even sampling the synthetic offerings with apparent appreciation. The galactic representatives had breathed a collective sigh of relief, believing they had successfully introduced another species to civilized dietary practices. That relief lasted exactly 3 days, Mordoon said grimly. New footage appeared showing a human ship departing the diplomatic vessel. The official logs indicated they were returning to Earth to share what they had learned about galactic civilization with their leaders. Everyone expected them to begin the standard integration process, requesting technology transfers, applying for trade agreements, seeking membership in various interstellar organizations. Instead, they disappeared into the Outer Rim territories where the most dangerous species in the galaxy made their homes. The first reports came from the Shadowmere system, Captain Vorthak spoke up, his gravelly voice carrying across the chamber. The humans had made contact with the Vex-High. A collective intake of breath echoed through the chamber. The Vex-High were legendary, massive, predatory reptilians with natural armor plating and acidic breath. They had never been successfully integrated into galactic civilization because they viewed all other species as either prey or competition. Diplomatic missions to their homeworld had a mortality rate of 90%. According to the survivors of our monitoring station, Vorthak continued, the humans didn't attempt traditional diplomacy. They didn't try to reason with the Vex-High or establish trade relationships. Instead, they challenged them to combat. Single combat? Asked Ambassador Zekthara. No, Vorthak replied. his scarred hide darkening with the memory. Hunting parties. The humans organized hunting parties and invited the Vex-Hi to participate, except the humans weren't hunting alongside the Vex-Hi. They were hunting the Vex-Hi. The chamber erupted in shocked voices. The idea was so outrageous that many delegates thought they had misheard the translation. The Vex-Hi, being apex predators themselves, were initially amused, Vorthak continued. They viewed the humans as weak prey animals attempting some form of elaborate suicide. Several Vex-Hi alphas accepted the challenge, expecting easy victories. The hologram now displayed grainy footage from long-range sensors. Human figures, impossibly small compared to their Vex-Hi opponents, moved through dense jungle terrain. The massive reptilian forms of the Vex-Hi crashed through the vegetation with the confidence of creatures that had never known fear. The first human victory was attributed to luck, Vorthak said. The second was considered an anomaly. By the fifth confirmed kill, the Vex-Hi leadership was taking notice. The footage showed a scene that would haunt the nightmares of civilized species for generations. Humans seated around a campfire, cooking and consuming portions of a defeated Vex-Hi while discussing strategy for hunting even larger specimens. They didn't just kill them, Ambassador Ilix whispered, her serpentine form coiled tight with tension. They ate them. They consumed the flesh of the galaxy's most feared predators and appeared to enjoy it. The Vex-Hi response was predictable, Vorthak continued. They declared a species-wide hunt against the humans. Every adult Vex-Hi capable of combat joined the effort to eliminate these strange creatures who dared to prey upon the predators. The hologram showed massive Vex-Hi war parties converging on human positions, their natural weapons gleaming in alien sunlight. It should have been a massacre. By all reasonable expectations, the humans should have been overwhelmed within hours. The hunting war lasted 6 months, Vorthak said quietly. When it ended, the human population in the Shadowmere system had grown by 30%. They had established permanent settlements and were advertising their hunting expeditions to tourists from Earth. "What happened to the Vex-Hi?" asked Ambassador Grixtal, though his tone suggested he feared the answer. "They're now a protected species," Vorthak replied. "The humans have implemented a sustainable hunting program to ensure the Vex-Hi population remains stable while providing what they call premium exotic meat for their expanding restaurant industry." The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. The most feared predators in this sector of the galaxy had become a menu item. "This is when we realized," High Chancellor Morden said slowly, "that we had made a fundamental error in our assessment of human nature. They weren't just another primitive species to be uplifted into civilization. They were something entirely outside our experience, a species that actively sought out and consumed apex predators for pleasure." The reports from other systems began arriving soon after, Ambassador Zekthara added. The humans had somehow obtained star charts showing the locations of every dangerous species in the galaxy. They were systematically visiting each system, not as diplomats or traders, but as hunters. The hologram displayed a galaxy-wide map with human ship movements tracked in red lines. The pattern was unmistakable. They were moving from system to system, seeking out the most dangerous creatures known to galactic civilization. "The Drakthul of the Crimson Nebula reported human hunting parties arriving last month," Ilix said. "The Drakthul are crystalline entities that feed on electromagnetic energy and can grow to the size of small ships. They've destroyed every expedition that's tried to study them." "And," prompted Mordun, "the humans have established a mining operation in the nebula. They're harvesting Drakthul crystals for what their transmissions describe as really crunchy snacks. Apparently, the electromagnetic feedback provides what they call a tingly sensation that they find enjoyable." "The void leviathans of the deep dark have gone into hiding," added Grixtal. Creatures that have traveled between stars since before our civilizations existed are now afraid to emerge from hyperspace. Human deep space fishing vessels have been spotted using planet-sized nets. "And the bone wraiths of Kepler-7?" asked Morden. "Extinct," came the quiet reply. The humans discovered that their ethereal forms could be trapped using specific sonic frequencies and then consumed in what they called ghost pepper sauce. The last confirmed bone wraith sighting was 3 weeks ago at a human food festival. As the reports continued, a picture emerged that challenged everything the galactic community thought they knew about civilization and progress. Humanity wasn't just another species to be guided into the peaceful coexistence that characterized advanced galactic society. They were something unprecedented, a highly intelligent, technologically sophisticated species that had retained their predatory instincts and actually celebrated them. "We've made contact with their government," Morden announced. "Earth's United Nations has agreed to send a delegation to address the Galactic Council. They'll be arriving within the week to discuss what they call interspecies culinary exchange programs and sustainable hunting practices for galactic apex predators." "What do we do?" asked Ambassador Zekthara. "How do we handle a species that views the galaxy's most dangerous creatures as a food source?" Before anyone could answer, an aide rushed into the chamber and whispered something urgent into High Chancellor Morden's ear. The massive Croylian's expression darkened as he listened. "What is it?" demanded Ambassador Ilix. Morden straightened to his full imposing height. "The human delegation has arrived early. Their ship is requesting permission to dock, and they've sent a message asking if we have any dangerous apex predators in the system that they might sample during their visit." "Do we?" asked Grixtal nervously. "Well," Morden said slowly, looking around at the assembled representatives of the galaxy's most advanced civilizations, "we do have the Council Guard Raptors. They're cybernetically enhanced predatory creatures designed to be the ultimate security force. Each one is capable of taking on a small army." "Those are our elite guardians," protested Zekthara. "The most dangerous creatures in Council space." "I know," Morden replied grimly. "That's exactly what I'm afraid they're going to want for dinner." As if summoned by his words, the chamber's communication system activated. A cheerful human voice filled the room through the translation matrix. "Galactic Council, this is Captain Maria Santos of the Earth vessel Appetite for Destruction. We're honored to be here and excited to sample your local cuisine. We've heard you have some sort of enhanced predatory guardians. They sound delicious. We've brought our best barbecue equipment and some earth spices that really bring out the flavor in apex predator meat. Permission to board?" The chamber fell silent as every delegate contemplated a galaxy where humanity's idea of diplomatic relations involved eating their way through the food chain, starting at the very top. Captain Maria Santos stepped off the transport shuttle with the confident stride of someone who had just spent 3 hours reviewing the nutritional profiles of the Galactic Council security forces. Behind her, a team of humans wheeled in equipment that made the assembled alien delegates extremely nervous. Portable grills, industrial-sized spice containers, and what appeared to be some kind of molecular enhancement device designed to optimize protein absorption. "Greetings, honored representatives of the galaxy," Maria said, her voice carrying easily through the translation matrix. "I'm Captain Santos, and this is my cultural liaison team. We're thrilled to be here and eager to establish meaningful relationships with your various species." High Chancellor Morden's forearms twitched involuntarily as he noticed the way the human's eyes were scanning the chamber, not with the typical awe of a primitive species encountering advanced technology, but with the calculating assessment of experienced hunters evaluating potential prey. "Welcome to the Galactic Council," Morden replied carefully. "We trust your journey was comfortable?" "Oh, absolutely," beamed Dr. Sarah Chen, stepping forward with a tablet displaying what appeared to be a comprehensive catalog of galactic fauna. We made excellent time once we locked onto the scent trails. Your Council Guard raptors have quite the pheromone signature, very promising for flavor development. We're particularly excited about the cybernetic enhancements. Do they affect the taste, or is it more of a textural element? Ambassador Zekthara's crystalline breathing apparatus fogged over with shock. You can detect our security forces from space? Human olfactory enhancement technology, explained Dr. Chen casually. We've been working on predator tracking systems since we started our galactic hunting tours. Nothing gets the adrenaline pumping like pursuing prey that actually poses a challenge. The human team began unpacking their equipment with practiced efficiency. Ambassador Ilix watched in fascination and horror as they assembled what was clearly a field kitchen designed for processing large, dangerous prey in hostile environments. Perhaps we should discuss the purpose of this meeting, suggested Ambassador Grixtal, his mandibles clicking nervously as he watched a human technician test what appeared to be an industrial meat tenderizer. We understand your species has unique dietary requirements? Requirements? Laughed Captain Santos. Oh no, you misunderstand. This isn't about requirements. This is about passion. Humans have spent millennia perfecting the art of hunting and consuming apex predators. When we discovered that the galaxy was full of species that had given up hunting, we saw an incredible opportunity. She activated a holographic display that made several delegates require immediate medical attention. The display showed Earth's history of predator consumption, from ancient humans hunting mammoths and cave bears to modern luxury restaurants serving everything from sharks to crocodiles. Your species consumed the apex predators of your own world? Asked Ambassador Zekthara, her 6 eyes wide with disbelief. Consumed them into near extinction in many cases, Dr. Chen replied cheerfully. Tigers, bears, great white sharks, venomous snakes. If it was dangerous and at the top of the food chain, humans figured out how to hunt it, kill it, and turn it into a gourmet meal. We've been perfecting these techniques for thousands of years. But why? Demanded Ambassador Ilix. What possible reason could you have for such behavior? The humans exchanged glances, as if the question itself was puzzling. Because they're delicious, Captain Santos replied simply. And because hunting apex predators is the ultimate test of skill and courage. Any species can eat plants or synthesize nutrients. It takes real civilization to track down the galaxy's most dangerous creatures and turn them into a 5-course meal. She gestured to her team, who began displaying various hunting trophies and cooking implements with obvious pride. When we learned that the galaxy was full of advanced civilizations that had abandoned predator hunting, we realized we were looking at the greatest culinary opportunity in the universe. Billions of years of evolution had created apex predators throughout the galaxy, and nobody was eating them. Because they're dangerous, protested Ambassador Grixtal. These creatures evolved to be the ultimate killers in their environments. Exactly, beamed Dr. Chen. That's what makes them so valuable. Any species can domesticate herbivores or synthesize proteins, but it takes true skill to hunt something that's actively trying to kill you. The adrenaline, the danger, the satisfaction of victory, and then the incredible flavor that comes from creatures that have spent millions of years becoming perfect predators. High Chancellor Mordun cleared his throat. Perhaps you could explain your experiences with some of the species you've already encountered. Captain Santos nodded enthusiastically and activated another display. Oh, we'd love to share. The Vexhi of Shadowmere were our first major success. Magnificent creatures, natural armor plating gives the meat a unique mineral flavor, and the acidic breath actually pre-marinates the tissue. We've established sustainable hunting preserves where we maintain healthy populations while providing regular harvests. The display showed images that would fuel nightmares throughout the galaxy. Humans in advanced hunting gear stalking massive reptilian predators through alien jungles, using tactics that combined ancient hunting wisdom with cutting-edge technology. The key, explained Dr. Chen, is understanding each species' hunting patterns and using them against the predator. The Vexhi rely on ambush tactics and overwhelming strength, so we developed mobile hunting platforms that let us maintain distance while engaging them in their preferred combat style. "You fight them fairly?" asked Captain Vorthak, his scarred hide showing new interest despite his obvious discomfort. "Of course," Captain Santos replied, looking offended at the suggestion otherwise. "There's no honor in slaughtering defenseless creatures. The whole point is to engage apex predators in honest combat, using our intelligence and tools against their natural advantages. If we can't beat them at their own game, we don't deserve to eat them." She switched the display to show a human hunting team pursuing creatures that looked like living nightmares, the Drakthul crystalline entities of the Crimson Nebula. The Drakthul were particularly challenging, Dr. Chen continued. Electromagnetic-based life forms require completely different hunting techniques. We had to develop specialized equipment that could disrupt their energy matrices while harvesting their crystalline cores intact. The footage showed humans in advanced environmental suits using what appeared to be some kind of electromagnetic net launchers to capture creatures made of living crystal and energy. "The taste is incredible," Captain Santos added, "like eating lightning with a mineral aftertaste. The electromagnetic feedback stimulates human neural receptors in ways that create entirely new flavor experiences." "And the void leviathans?" asked Ambassador Ilix, her serpentine form coiled so tightly she appeared to be strangling herself. "Deep space fishing at its finest," Dr. Chen replied proudly. "Those creatures have been swimming through hyperspace for millions of years, developing unique gravitational organs that create the most tender meat in the known universe. The challenge is luring them out of hyperspace and engaging them in an environment where they can't simply disappear into another dimension." The display showed human vessels, massive compared to typical diplomatic ships, deploying nets that seemed to bend space itself. The footage captured moments when creatures the size of small moons emerged from hyperspace, only to be carefully harvested by teams of human hunters working with the precision of a surgical unit. "We've learned that the key to hunting interdimensional predators is understanding the mathematics of their displacement techniques," Captain Santos explained. "Once you can predict their movement patterns through hyperspace, you can set traps that force them to engage on your terms." "This is madness," whispered Ambassador Zekthara. "You're describing industrial-scale hunting of the most dangerous creatures in the galaxy." "Industrial scale?" Dr. Chen looked genuinely confused. "Oh no, we maintain very strict quotas. Sustainability is crucial. We're not trying to wipe out these species. We want to ensure healthy populations for future generations of hunters. Earth has learned from past mistakes with our own apex predators." Captain Santos nodded seriously. "Every hunting operation includes xenobiologists who monitor population levels and breeding cycles. We take only mature adults and ensure genetic diversity is maintained. Some of our hunting preserves have actually increased apex predator populations by eliminating smaller threats and providing ideal breeding conditions." "You're farming them," accused Ambassador Grixtal. "Ranching," corrected Captain Santos. "There's a difference. Farming implies domestication. We maintain wild populations in their natural environments, just with careful management to ensure sustainable harvesting. The creatures remain completely wild and dangerous. That's what makes them valuable." She activated a new section of the display showing sprawling alien landscapes where massive predators roamed freely, watched over by carefully hidden human monitoring stations. "The bone wraiths were our greatest challenge," Dr. Chen continued. "Ethereal entities that exist partially outside normal space-time. Hunting something that's half ghost requires completely revolutionary techniques. You said they were extinct, protested Ambassador Ilix. On Kepler-7, yes, Captain Santos acknowledged. That was before we perfected our containment techniques. The early hunting teams were too aggressive and didn't understand the bone wraith's reproduction cycle. We've since located 3 other bone wraith populations and established proper breeding programs. The display showed creatures that appeared to be made of living darkness and bone, partially visible in normal space, while portions of their anatomy existed in dimensions that human technology could barely detect. The sonic frequency nets required entirely new physics, Dr. Chen explained. We had to collaborate with Earth's theoretical physics departments to develop technology that could interact with partially dimensional entities. The breakthrough came when we realized their ethereal nature actually makes them incredibly vulnerable to certain harmonic frequencies. And you eat them? Asked High Chancellor Mordun, his massive frame leaning forward despite his obvious horror. With proper preparation, Captain Santos replied. The ethereal portions provide a unique dining experience. You're literally consuming energy patterns that exist across multiple dimensions. We serve them in specially prepared ghost pepper sauce that enhances the interdimensional flavor properties. Ghost pepper sauce, repeated Ambassador Zekthara weakly. Earth spices, Dr. Chen explained helpfully. We found that many Earth seasonings complement alien predator flavors remarkably well. The capsaicin in ghost peppers, for instance, interacts with bone wraith essence to create flavor sensations that don't exist anywhere else in the universe. Captain Santos gestured to her team, who began setting up what appeared to be a demonstration kitchen. We'd love to show you some preparation techniques. We brought samples from our recent hunting expeditions. Several delegates backed away as the humans began unpacking containers that were clearly designed to preserve the remains of apex predators under field conditions. We have Vex high steaks aged in their natural acidic environment, Dr. Chen announced cheerfully. Dractyl crystals prepared 3 different ways, and some void leviathan sashimi that's been aging in hyperspace for optimal flavor development. You want to cook in our council chamber? Asked Ambassador Grixtal, his compound eyes reflecting what humans would recognize as pure terror. Cultural exchange, Captain Santos replied. We believe the best way to build relationships between species is through shared meals. Once you experience properly prepared apex predator cuisine, you'll understand why humans consider hunting the foundation of true civilization. She paused and looked around at the assembled delegates. Of course, we understand that your species have different dietary needs, but we were hoping to discuss establishing hunting preserves throughout galactic space, where humans can pursue apex predators while other species can observe our techniques. Observe? Repeated Ambassador Ilix. Educational programs, Dr. Chen explained. We think other species might benefit from learning human hunting techniques, not necessarily for consumption. We understand most of you have moved beyond carnivorous behavior, but for the intellectual challenge and the skills development. You want to teach us to hunt apex predators, said High Chancellor Mordun slowly. If you're interested, Captain Santos replied. We've found that hunting develops problem-solving skills, physical conditioning, strategic thinking, and courage in ways that synthesized environments can't match. Several Earth universities now require apex predator hunting courses for their xenobiology programs. Universities, repeated Ambassador Zekthara faintly. Academic institutions, Dr. Chen clarified. Hunting dangerous alien predators has become essential training for any human who wants to work in interstellar biology or xenological studies. How can you truly understand a species without having tracked it through its native environment, studied its behavior patterns, and engaged it in honest combat? The human team had finished setting up their demonstration kitchen and was now preparing what appeared to be a small feast from ingredients that had recently been the galaxy's most feared predators. We've also brought some Earth beverages that pair beautifully with apex predator cuisine, Captain Santos announced. Wine made from grapes grown in volcanic soil complements the mineral flavors in armored predators, while aged whiskey brings out the complex proteins in interdimensional creatures. The aroma beginning to emerge from the human cooking equipment was unlike anything any of the delegates had ever experienced. It was simultaneously appetizing and terrifying. The scent of perfectly prepared meat that their instincts screamed had once been capable of killing them all. "Perhaps," suggested Ambassador Ilix weakly, "we should discuss the practical implications of your cultural practices in a more formal setting?" "Absolutely," Captain Santos agreed. "We've prepared a comprehensive presentation on sustainable apex predator hunting techniques, including environmental impact assessments, population management strategies, and economic projections for galaxy-wide hunting tourism." She paused and smiled in a way that somehow conveyed both friendship and the absolute confidence of an apex predator. "We're also prepared to demonstrate our techniques on any local dangerous species you might want to nominate. We brought our full hunting gear, and the crew is eager for some exercise after the long voyage." Outside the council chamber, alarms began sounding as the station's security sensors detected the human hunting equipment and started tracking movement patterns that indicated active predator stalking behavior. "I believe," said High Chancellor Morden carefully, "our guard raptors have noticed your arrival." The security alarms grew louder as Captain Santos and her team exchanged looks that the galactic delegates were learning to recognize with growing dread. It was the expression humans wore when they detected the presence of dangerous prey animals. "Guard raptors, you said?" Dr. Chen asked, consulting her tablet with obvious excitement. "Enhanced cybernetic predators designed for security applications? Oh, this is perfect. We've been wanting to test our techniques against artificially enhanced apex predators." Through the chamber's transparent walls, massive forms could be seen moving in the corridor beyond. The Council Guard Raptors were 12 feet of genetically modified killing machine, enhanced with military-grade cybernetics and programmed with the combat experience of 100 different worlds. Each one was capable of single-handedly clearing a hostile vessel. "Those are our ultimate security forces," warned Ambassador Zekthara, her crystalline breathing apparatus now cycling rapidly with stress. "They're designed to neutralize any possible threat to Council operations." "Magnificent," breathed Captain Santos, watching the creatures move with the appreciation of a professional hunter. "Look at those movement patterns. Perfect predatory efficiency combined with tactical programming. The cybernetic enhancements probably provide sensor capabilities far beyond natural evolution." The lead raptor, designated Alpha 7, had stopped directly outside the chamber. Its augmented eyes scanned the human delegation with the cold calculation of a machine combined with the hunting instincts of a perfect predator. Warning lights flickered along its cybernetic implants as its threat assessment systems processed the human's presence. "It's beautiful," Dr. Chen whispered. "Natural predatory evolution enhanced with advanced technology. The fusion of organic hunting instincts with digital tactical analysis. This represents thousands of years of both biological and technological development." High Chancellor Morden activated the security communication system. "Alpha 7, report status." The raptor's voice came through with mechanical precision overlaying organic threat. "Unknown hostiles detected. Combat pheromones identified. Predatory behavior patterns confirmed. Recommend immediate neutralization." "Those aren't hostiles," Morden replied carefully. "They're diplomatic guests from Earth." There was a pause as Alpha 7's enhanced sensors focused more intently on the human delegation. "Correction. Species identification, human. Threat assessment, extreme. These entities exhibit apex predator characteristics. Their equipment indicates specialized hunting capabilities. Request permission to engage." Captain Santos grinned. "He can tell we're hunters. Excellent threat recognition systems. The cybernetic enhancements don't interfere with the basic predatory instincts. She stepped closer to the transparent wall, separating them from the corridor. Alpha 7 immediately moved to mirror her position, its augmented claws extending as it recognized the approach of another apex predator. "Hello there, gorgeous," Captain Santos said softly. "You're everything we hoped for, and more." Alpha 7's response was a low growl that somehow managed to sound both organic and electronic simultaneously. Its cybernetic eye implants began cycling through different visual spectrums as it analyzed the human's hunting equipment. "This is fascinating," Dr. Chen said, recording everything on her tablet. "Look how it's adapting its analysis protocols to account for our gear. The artificial intelligence is learning to recognize human hunting patterns in real time." "Perhaps," suggested Ambassador Ilix nervously, "we should continue this meeting in a more secure location?" "Nonsense," Captain Santos replied. "This is perfect. We can demonstrate proper apex predator hunting techniques right here. Educational opportunity for everyone involved." She turned to her team. "Johnson, break out the cybernetic disruption gear. Martinez, I want the kinetic mesh nets and the neural dampening equipment. Chen, start analyzing those cybernetic signatures. I want to know how to separate the technological enhancements from the organic systems without damaging the meat quality." The human team moved with practiced efficiency, unpacking equipment that made Alpha 7's threat assessment systems immediately escalate to maximum alert. The Raptor's cybernetic implants began broadcasting emergency signals as it recognized military-grade hunting gear specifically designed to neutralize enhanced organisms. "Warning," Alpha 7 announced, "hostile entities deploying advanced containment systems. Weapons designed for cybernetic organism neutralization detected. Requesting immediate backup and authorization for deadly force." "Now this is interesting," Captain Santos mused. "It recognizes our equipment and understands its purpose. The tactical programming is quite sophisticated." Additional guard raptors began arriving in the corridor, their cybernetic systems synchronizing as they established a coordinated defensive perimeter. Soon, 6 of the massive predator machines were positioned outside the chamber, their combined sensor arrays focused entirely on the human delegation. 6 enhanced apex predators working in perfect coordination, Dr. Chen observed with scientific fascination. Networked artificial intelligence overlaying pack hunting instincts. "This is going to be an incredible challenge." "The finest hunt we've ever attempted," agreed Captain Santos. "Natural predatory evolution, cybernetic enhancement, tactical programming, and pack coordination. If we can successfully hunt these creatures, we'll have proven that human hunting techniques can overcome any possible predator configuration in the galaxy." High Chancellor Morden's forearms were now waving frantically. "You cannot seriously be considering hunting our security forces." "Why not?" Captain Santos asked reasonably. "They're the ultimate apex predators in this system, specifically designed to be the most dangerous creatures in Council space. They represent the pinnacle of both biological and technological predator development. How could we not hunt them?" "Because they're protecting us," protested Ambassador Grixtal. "From what?" Dr. Chen asked with genuine curiosity. "The most dangerous creatures in this system are standing right outside that door. If we eliminate them, this system will be perfectly safe for everyone." "Those creatures are our guardians," Ambassador Zekthara explained desperately. "They protect Council space from hostile invaders and dangerous organisms." "Exactly," Captain Santos nodded. "They're guard animals. We have similar concepts on Earth. When guard animals become too aggressive or dangerous, they need to be culled. It's basic predator management." She activated her equipment and began scanning the raptors through the transparent walls. "Besides, look at the quality of these specimens. Genetic optimization, cybernetic enhancement, advanced tactical programming. The meat is going to be absolutely incredible. The fusion of organic and synthetic proteins will create entirely new flavor profiles." Alpha 7 had finished its threat assessment and was now displaying behavior patterns that the galactic delegates had never seen before. The massive creature was backing away from the transparent wall while maintaining visual contact with Captain Santos. "Is it retreating?" asked Ambassador Ilix in disbelief. "Tactical withdrawal," Dr. Chen corrected, studying her readings. "It recognizes us as a threat and is repositioning for optimal engagement. Very intelligent behavior. The cybernetic programming is adapting to account for human hunting capabilities." The Raptor pack was indeed repositioning, spreading out to cover multiple approach routes while maintaining coordinated sensor coverage. Their cybernetic systems were clearly analyzing the human equipment and developing countermeasures. "This is unprecedented," whispered High Chancellor Morden. "The Guard Raptors have never retreated from anything." "Because they've never encountered anything capable of hunting them," Captain Santos explained. "They're designed to be the ultimate predators, but they've never faced a species that specializes in hunting ultimate predators." She turned to address the galactic delegates. "This perfectly illustrates what we've been trying to explain about human civilization. Other species see dangerous predators and develop technology to avoid them or defend against them. Humans see dangerous predators and develop technology to hunt them more effectively." "But why?" demanded Ambassador Zekthara. "Why not simply leave dangerous creatures alone?" "Because that's not how apex predators think," Dr. Chen replied. "Humans didn't become the dominant species on Earth by avoiding competition. We became dominant by systematically hunting and consuming every creature that posed a threat to our dominance." Captain Santos gestured toward the raptors. "These creatures represent a challenge. They're designed to be perfect killers, the ultimate expression of predatory capability. For humans, that doesn't make them something to fear. It makes them something to hunt." The lead raptor, Alpha 7, had stopped its withdrawal and was now emitting a new sound, a complex vocalization that combined organic threat displays with electronic communication protocols. "What's it doing?" asked Ambassador Grixtall. "Calling for help," Dr. Chen replied, checking her scanners. "But not from other guard raptors. It's broadcasting on emergency frequencies to warn every security system in Council space that there are apex predators loose in the station." "It's warning the galaxy about us," Captain Santos said with obvious pride. "That's the sign of a truly intelligent predator, recognizing when it's encountered something even more dangerous than itself and alerting others to the threat." The Chamber's communication systems activated as emergency broadcasts began flooding in from across the Council station. Security forces throughout the facility were reporting behavioral changes in all containment units housing dangerous organisms. Creatures that had been dormant for years were suddenly displaying extreme agitation. "The entire station's ecosystem is responding to your presence," observed High Chancellor Mordun with growing alarm. "Every dangerous organism we've contained for research purposes is reacting as if a super predator has entered their territory." "Because we have," Dr. Chen said simply. "Humans emit specific pheromones and behavioral signals that identify us as apex predators to any creature with sufficient intelligence. It's an evolutionary adaptation that helped our ancestors avoid wasteful conflicts with other apex predators while asserting dominance over potential prey." "Your entire species broadcasts the chemical signature of ultimate predators?" asked Ambassador Ilix faintly. "Only when we're actively hunting," Captain Santos replied. "Right now we're in full predatory mode because we've identified 6 prime hunting targets. Every enhanced organism in this station can detect that and is responding appropriately." She paused and looked around at the increasingly panicked delegates. "Which brings us to the main purpose of our visit. We'd like to establish formal diplomatic protocols for human hunting expeditions throughout galactic space." "Hunting protocols?" repeated High Chancellor Morden. "Sustainable harvesting agreements," Dr. Chen clarified. "Humans are prepared to take responsibility for managing apex predator populations throughout the galaxy. We'll maintain healthy breeding stocks while providing regular culling services to keep dangerous populations under control. Captain Santos activated a holographic display showing comprehensive charts and projections. We've already demonstrated success with several species. Our hunting programs have actually strengthened the genetics of apex predator populations by eliminating weak individuals while ensuring robust breeding programs. "You want to hunt apex predators throughout the entire galaxy?" said Ambassador Zekathera, her breathing apparatus now completely fogged over. "We want to manage them," Captain Santos corrected. "Every system has dangerous predators that pose threats to shipping, research, and colonization efforts. Most species simply avoid these creatures or try to contain them. Humans propose a better solution: systematic hunting that maintains ecological balance while providing valuable resources." "Resources?" asked Ambassador Grixtal. "Exotic meats for Earth's restaurant industry," Dr. Chen explained. "Biological samples for medical research, organic compounds that can't be synthesized, trophy materials for collectors. The economic potential is enormous." She gestured to the raptors still positioned outside the chamber. "These guard raptors, for instance, probably represent millions of credits worth of cybernetic components, genetic material, and premium meat. Instead of maintaining them as expensive security forces, they could be harvested to fund expanded peacekeeping operations using more cost-effective methods." "You want to eat our security forces and use the profits to buy new ones," High Chancellor Morden said slowly. "Exactly," Captain Santos beamed. "Human hunting techniques could eliminate the most expensive and dangerous aspects of galactic security while providing sustainable funding for improved safety measures." The chamber fell silent except for the continuing alarms and the ominous sounds of the raptor pack repositioning for what appeared to be a coordinated assault on the chamber itself. "I think," said Ambassador Ilex carefully, "we need to consider the long-term implications of integrating human hunting culture into galactic civilization." "We've prepared a comprehensive impact study," Dr. Chen offered, producing another tablet. "Ecological benefits, economic projections, cultural exchange opportunities, educational programs, everything you need to understand how human hunting practices can improve galactic society." "And if we refuse?" asked High Chancellor Morden. Captain Santos shrugged. "Then we'll continue operating independently. We've already established hunting preserves in 17 systems. Earth's population is growing rapidly, and our appetite for exotic apex predator cuisine is expanding exponentially." She gestured toward the increasingly agitated raptors. "With or without official cooperation, humans are going to hunt apex predators throughout the galaxy. We'd prefer to do it with proper diplomatic protocols and sustainable management practices." "The alternative being?" prompted Ambassador Zekathera. "Unregulated hunting tourism," Dr. Chen replied matter-of-factly. "Earth has approximately 8 billion humans who are becoming increasingly interested in galactic hunting opportunities. Without proper management, you could see thousands of independent hunting expeditions targeting apex predators throughout Council space." "Thousands of human hunting parties," repeated Ambassador Grixtal, his mandibles clicking with what might have been despair. "Each one equipped with military-grade hunting gear and absolutely no supervision," Captain Santos added helpfully. "Whereas official hunting programs would include ecological monitoring, population management, and proper harvesting techniques." Alpha 7's cybernetic systems suddenly activated a new protocol. Instead of maintaining its defensive position, the massive raptor approached the chamber wall and began what appeared to be a formal communication sequence. "Alpha 7 to Council leadership," the creature announced. "Threat assessment complete. Recommendation: immediate evacuation of all organic personnel. These entities represent an extinction-level threat to apex predator populations galaxy-wide." "It's figured out what we represent," Dr. Chen observed with admiration. "Advanced tactical intelligence indeed." "Secondary recommendation," Alpha 7 continued. Implement emergency protocols for protection of endangered apex predator populations. These humans will systematically hunt and consume every dangerous organism in galactic space unless controlled. Captain Santos smiled. See? Even your security forces understand the situation. We're not asking for permission to hunt apex predators. We're offering to do it with proper oversight and sustainable practices. The choice, Dr. Chen added, is between managed hunting programs that benefit everyone or uncontrolled human expansion that treats the entire galaxy as an open hunting preserve. High Chancellor Morden looked around at the assembled delegates, all of whom were staring at the human delegation with expressions of shocked comprehension. "You're not asking to join galactic civilization," he said slowly. "You're informing us that humans intend to reshape it according to your own predatory culture." "Precisely," Captain Santos replied cheerfully. "The question is whether you want to be partners in that process or simply observers." Outside the chamber, Alpha 7 had been joined by what appeared to be every enhanced security organism in the station. Dozens of cybernetic predators, contained research specimens, and automated defense systems were all focusing their attention on the chamber containing the human delegation. "I believe," said Ambassador Ilex quietly, "we need to schedule some very serious negotiations about humanity's role in galactic affairs." Captain Santos nodded. "Excellent. Should we start with dinner? We brought enough Vex high stakes for everyone."